Hi, and before anyone complains that this episode was in fact not written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner, let me just clarify for you, it wasn't. This episode was a labor of love done by me and my friends because we just love the original Night Vale so much, and it's kind of a thank you gift to the creators of our favorite desert community. This episode was actually written and produced by myself, with help from my good friend Harrison. Keep screwing up his name, but we're keeping that in anyway, sorry. Harrison Winch, he helped me write it. As for the voices, I did Cecil as well as I possibly could, so I apologize now. My friend Harrison also did the male voice, which you'll find out what that is, and my friend Rachel White did the female voice and the Proverb Lady, and she also helped with some of the concept for this episode, so I have to thank her a lot too, because I dragged them over to my house and we recorded for like 3 hours, However, the weather of this episode is actually by who we say it's by, so go check them out anyway. That doesn't even matter. And without any further ado, have a happy Halloween, and here is 10,527. And here is 10,526. And here is...
Hi, this is me again, Joseph Fink, creator of Welcome to Night Vale. Before we get started, we all just want to thank you so much for the great turnout we had at our West Coast tour of condos. We can't thank you enough for all your support. Miss the tour? Not a problem. You can buy the full live recording of it online on our Bandcamp page. At our store, we've got a whole bunch of new stuff like our Night Vale and Desert Bluffs posters, as well as Night Vale hoodies. We even have 2 new campaign posters for Hiram McDaniels and the faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home, so you can show everyone who you support. Go to welcometonightvale.com and click on our store for all of this and infinitely more. Hey, if you like what we do here with our show and you'd like to help prove our unlikely existence, please consider signing up for a small monthly donation. We really do depend on all of you. Those who donate a little more get a personal audio thank you from Cecil himself. Thank you to Catherine Macy, David Preston, and Evan Short for donating already. Go to welcometonightvale.com and click on donate to join them. Thanks again from me, the human flesh entity designated as Joseph Fink, which is me.
You are walking slowly down a road. It is one you have walked down all your life, when suddenly it turns onto an unmarked boulevard. You don't know where this one goes or who lives here. Perhaps your great Aunt Bethany. You're unsure, yet you keep walking. A genderless voice calls out to you. Stop, it says, but it is already too late. Welcome to Night Vale. Now, as you all must know, I've never been a big fan of television and the things you do with it, like watching or meat tenderization. Unless, of course, it is a city-mandated program or meat tenderization ceremony. Then I'm right up for it. But as of yesterday, all of Night Vale has mysteriously and unanimously upgraded to digital television. And with it came a new channel. All of the older channels can't be accessed because of the Switch though, so I suppose it is also our only channel. The new channel's program seems to only be a purple screen with numbers on it that are being counted down by 2 calm voices, one masculine and one more feminine. The count started yesterday at 10,527, and right now it's at, well, just listen in.
3,522.
3,521.
3,520.
3,519.
3,000.
Anyways, you get the idea. When the city council was asked if this would interfere with city-mandated TV programs and, of course, meat tenderization ceremonies, they responded by taking off their right shoes while floating a visible 2 inches off of the ground, then emitting some sort of static-like noise, followed by a very good imitation of 32 distinct animal sounds. We are not really sure what this all means, listeners. I mean the static sound and animal calls. We all got that the right shoe lifting obviously tells us that tomorrow's Taco Tuesday will go through unaffected. So, we'll be sending over our intern Daryl with the mobile setup to the City Hall for an exclusive interview with the council. That will hopefully clear things up. More on this story as more of this story reveals itself from the shadows of mystery. Right about now, it looks like it's time for our Community 7-Day Outlook. Monday. This is today. You should know Monday. You should know. This Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, which will continue on in spite of the televisions, as stated previously. The City Council reminds you, though, that Taco Tuesday only comes once every 17 years, so make sure to have brought the effigies of your family's ancestral enemies along with you, and that they have been properly marinated. If you do come to Taco Tuesday without them, you will not be able to participate and will, coincidentally, be sent to the Panopticon Time Prison. Wednesday. Yes. Hello. Thursday, the sun will be rising 20 minutes earlier to compensate for the temporal vortex that is residing within Mission Grove Park's public restrooms. And Friday is Bring Your Kids to Work Day. What fun! And the rest of my report has a bite taken out of it, so I guess that's it. You know, listeners, I have to say, this new channel business is certainly making me curious. I mean, televisions with cable boxes don't just appear out of thin air and install themselves in every single room in a city, do they? I mean, who sent them? I don't remember upgrading to digital. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, digital television was outlawed 35 years ago after 3 recorded deaths. So just how did they appear in our fair city's homes? What do they want? What do you think they're trying to tell us? What do you think this channel is counting down to? That's a lot of questions for one flustered radio host to answer. You know what, listeners? Now that I think about it, we haven't had a community radio contest since the last time our studio had our What Would You Name Your Pet Dragon contest in the 50s, as our studio had an abundance of dragon eggs at the time. So how about this? All of you out there watching the mysterious televisions, write into the studio with your best answer as to what is happening here today. And then, when they're finished counting down to whatever it is that they are counting down to, we'll see who's the closest and give them a prize. That sounds fun, doesn't it? I'll have to look around for a prize, though. There's not much here in the studio. In the meantime, a quick public service announcement. Does it burn you? Does it make you feel physical discomfort? Is it questioning your worldview? Does it talk about mountains? Ignore it. Whatever it is that is doing all of these things probably didn't go to school and is stupid, therefore not worth listening to. Any sightings or sounds or general sensations of these stupid, illegitimate, not trustworthy, lying creatures should be reported directly to the secret police. Once again, they really don't have anything important to say. It would be embarrassing for the both of you to listen. So, while the PSA was playing, I went to the studio's storage closet to look for this little contest's prize, and behind our manager's old collection of vinyls I found this. Well, let's just keep it a secret too for now, shall we? Listeners, it now appears as if we've got our first letters of the day, as my desk is making that familiar humming sound when the mail arrives. Alright, so I'll just pick the one off the top and we'll see who it's from. Our first letter of the day is from Old Woman Josie. She claims that the angels put the mysterious televisions there. She also claims she knows this for certain, as they have not said anything about them to her, and that is exactly what they would do if they were involved. Between you and me, listeners, I expect the angels didn't say anything to her simply because they are not real, but I admit that guilt might be another reason. We will not seek a statement from the angels in question, as we cannot interview imaginary beings. Our next letter is from Martha Devons, a local housewife. She has this to say about the televisions. She believes that they are not just here to count down, but are also a new age learning channel placed here to teach the children of Night Vale all about the wonderful numbers from 10,527 all the way to 0. Because of this, she urges you to keep your children away from it, as those first 10,527 numbers are known to be dangerous in the hands of a child. Remember the old saying, 10, 5, 2, 8 up. Happiness is yours close up. 10, 5, 2, 7 down. Watch your family dug in the ground. Sound advice, Martha. Sound advice indeed. We have one here from Leanne Hart, the editor of the Night Vale Daily Journal. It says here that these numbers surely mark the countdown until the final death of alternative media, and its finish will bring with it a return of traditional newspapers. These newspapers will come back stronger than before, rising out of the swamp like krakens rising out of your bathtub, and finally lead the revolution, restoring them to the rightful place as communicators of news and current events. This letter is written on the back of an old issue of the Night Vale Daily Journal, which had evidently not been sold. Next up, we have one from John Peters. You know, the farmer. He says here that he thinks these numbers are counting down until the end of winter. Now, this is quite an unusual assumption, as winter has not ended for the past 300 years, nor does it show any signs of ceasing its relentless oppression. Of course, it has gone through phases, often getting as hot during the summer months, and very spring-esque during the spring months. But we aren't fooled, listeners. We know it's still winter, and that it always will be. Those are all the letters I have right now, so keep on sending them into the station. Remember, if you solve the mystery of the televisions, you'll also solve the mystery of what this prize is. 2 mysteries solved in 1. Sounds like a good deal to me. So guess away, Night Vale. Take your very best shot. And now, a word from our sponsor. Did you get in an accident? Uh-oh, you think. What will you do? But like a good neighbor, State Farm is here. Did you misplace your keys? Don't worry. Like a good neighbor, State Farm has the spares in his back pocket. Is the open window chilling you while you sleep? Like a good neighbor, State Farm always closes the window after himself. Did you lose a lock of your hair? It's okay. State Farm had it all along. No need to worry. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is everywhere, but mostly around you. Listeners, I have big news. I have a letter here from Night Vale's favorite and most gorgeously haired scientist. You all know who I'm talking about. Carlos, our one and only, has sent me a text saying he has examined the televisions using science and has come to a definitive conclusion about what will happen when the numbers finish counting down. Oh, I can just imagine him saying that. He's so adorable when he gets all anxious about something to do with science. I remember one time when all the eggs in Night Vale turned into frogs, and he was running up and down the town, his hair blowing in the wind, performing cesarean sections on various hens to remove their amphibious offspring. He looked so beautiful with blood, yolk, and frog spawn on his face. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right. On to the next letter. The Sheriff's Secret Police have sent in an official dispatch, carried by self-destructing messenger pigeon, and encoded in cuneiform, binary, and Pig Latin. It says that they would really appreciate it if everyone could turn off the televisions. They say that the sound of numbers counting down is quite repetitive, and that the agents listening in on your home are getting very bored. Please either turn off the television or have a loud, heated discussion, preferably near the lampshade that has the listening device in it, and preferably about international table tennis. Supposedly, the agents are into that sort of thing. Big Rico of Big Rico's Pizza has sent in a letter too. He claims the televisions were put there by aliens and are counting down to the time before they invade. This is obviously nonsense. Everyone knows that the aliens are quite friendly and would never invade us. In addition, if they ever were to invade, they would give us no warning, instead falling upon us as wolves fall upon sheep, slaughtering us like livestock until the entire world was covered by screams and suspicious lamb chops. You know, if they ever invaded, which they totally won't. Arthur Kleinsberg, a local Night Vale construction worker, had this to say about the mysterious televisions. He believes that the man's voice is representative of the third blood solstice, also called the man's solstice, thus the connection, and that the female voice is reference to Althea Axius, the lost goddess of the eye. Arthur is of course implying that this is counting down to her long-awaited resurrection. Now, I have personal doubts to this theory, as I'm a subscriber to the New Testament stating that she'll be resurrected next month, so this TV wouldn't be that accurate. But I suppose that, as being early is one of the virtues of the cult, it could explain everything. Telly the Barber has sent in a letter, but we won't read it. We here at Night Vale Community Radio still haven't forgiven him for his treason. Treacherous, treacherous Telly. Corrupt barbers aside, all these letters are sure getting me excited, listeners. Think of all the possibilities here, the near infinite amount of actions that could occur when these televisions and substituent cable boxes finish counting down. Today could be a day of many things, and I know we are all glued to the screens waiting for this to happen. Keep writing in as we approach our final destination. In the meantime, though, I have a quick community announcement. Marcus Swarthy, a local parent, will be hosting a used bloodstone sale at his house next Monday. He came across the idea after his son was unable to attend a school field trip to the Extra Plains, as he was unable to afford enough bloodstones for his transport circle. Marcus will be selling his old bloodstones at a discounted price so that the youth of Night Vale will never be without them again. What a great guy. A quick reminder though, before using your newly purchased bloodstones, you must reattune it to your personal soul shard before use. Otherwise, consequences. Listeners, we have received a rather mysterious letter. It is written on violet stationery cut in the shape of an elephant, and it appeared in the studio along with some black smoke and the opening bars of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It simply says, "Puppies." I'm not sure what this letter means, but I assume that it is a prediction about what will come when the numbers count down. If this is indeed the message, then I am not scared at all. But if this message is written backwards, then we are all in grave danger, for then it really says, "Sci-Pup," which means absolutely nothing at all. And this lack of meaning would make us all realize the lack of meaning in our own existence, then leading us into a vortex of nihilism from which we are likely to never escape. For the sake of our sanity, let us hope it simply says, "Puppies." On a side note, I have just received a mindograph from the City Council regarding intern Daryl and his interview. Apparently, Daryl has spontaneously been chosen by the council to explore the outer astral demi-planes, and will not ever be returning to Night Vale. Ever. A warm congratulations goes out to Daryl and his family. Astral explorers make a lot of money, you know. On behalf of Night Vale Community Radio, I wish you the best of luck at your new job exploring the depths of reality, Daryl, and that you will indeed be missed back at home. As happy as I am for Daryl, though, I can't help but feel a little sorry he had to leave so soon. Missing the countdown could be missing big things. Oh well, we'll just give him a call once it's done. Lily Miles, age 5, writes in, oh, and this is so cute. Dear Cecil, I don't like the TV, just like you. I don't like the new ones either. They're boring. I hope they count down and then explode into candy and robots, 'cause I want candy, and I also like robots. You could have some candy too. Just ask. From Lily. Aww, isn't that sweet, listeners? For my sake, I sure hope it explodes into candy, as my supply for Koshak is running out. He really does love those butterscotch twists. Listeners, Terry Phillips, the cook with 2 eye patches, is yelling at us through our studio window that this is all an advertising stunt for Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup has not responded to questions regarding Terry's claim, instead electing to remain the inanimate mixture of noodles, broth, and tasty chunks of chicken that it always has been. Terry is now shaking his fist at a can of soup and trying to run away, instead crashing into our garage wall due to being blind from wearing 2 eye patches. Terry has now fallen to the ground unconscious, and the can of soup has used the studio's phone to call the ambulance and then walked off, as much as a can of soup can walk off. This was all very strange, listeners, I'm not going to lie, so how about we move on to the next letter and let us hope that Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup has a purely peaceful agenda. Billy McFloyd, owner of the Mayan wristwatch company on Main Street, has sent in a letter. He claims that the numbers do not imply an ending, and that once they have finished counting down, they will simply start again at 10,527. This is also ridiculous. Everyone knows that once a timepiece reaches 0, that implies the end of time itself. For example, if I reach the end of my calendar at home, that would mean the end of time. This is why I keep my calendar always on the December page, in order to cause time to continue indefinitely. It also has the added benefit of allowing me to play Christmas music whenever I feel like it. Listeners, if you value cheery carols and the existence of time itself, you will mark my words and keep your calendars on December too. Last up, but certainly not least, Mayor Pamela Winchell has just released an official statement regarding the televisions. She said that she supports the arts and quite enjoys this new channel. She then proceeded to stare at the nearest screen for 5 minutes. After that, she took out a bag of popcorn and continued watching the screen, listening to the numbers. The reporters were unsure of what to do at this point, and were unsure whether or not the press conference was over. By the time she finally began to emit a high-pitched humming sound and turn blue, most of the reporters had already left. I apologize for the background noise, listeners, but as the television's count is entering its final stages, I couldn't help but unmute it preemptively so that I couldn't possibly miss a second of the history that is sure to occur here within mere minutes. You have all given it your best at guessing what will happen, and in these final moments of anxiety and excitement, it is my job, as always, to console your minds with the weather.
236.
it's hard to keep going when nothing feels alright. Yeah, I will wait for you to come home to my arms. Yeah, I will wait for you. It all just seems so far. When the sun goes down and I'm all alone. Yeah, I will wait for
20.
19.
Listeners, it's about to
18.
happen. I'm
17.
so excited. We will
16.
finally find out what this all
15.
means. And it
14.
could mean anything.
13.
I will stop talking now,
12.
so that we all may
11.
witness these
10.
moments unhindered.
9.
8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1.
0.
I'm not quite sure what just happened, listeners. The reception seems to have cut off. And just at the end of the count. Wait. The televisions are emitting some sort of low alien noise. I'm not sure if it is a code or just a hum. The televisions are now glowing. They're glowing very bright. I'd recommend looking away, listeners, but I do not expect you to. We all want to see this, whatever it is. Listeners, they are gone. The one inside my studio and the one down the hall. I can only assume all of the televisions and their respective cable boxes have vanished. Why? We may never know. Did we even find out what they had been counting down to? Or were they only ever counting down to their own grand exit? A mystery wrapped in a pita, dipped in mayonnaise, as they always say. Dipped in mayonnaise indeed. I can understand we're all quite disappointed because of this, listeners. But I just don't feel I can award my prize to anybody. After all, how can anyone be close to the unknowable? And so, with a heavy heart, I add my own mystery to today's events. But fret not, listeners. Perhaps this was all some cosmic prank, or perhaps even a lesson. Maybe a lesson in waiting, or that of patience. But what I think, listeners, was that we wasted our time waiting for it to do something, in which time we might have acted upon it to do that something. Today could have been a day of many things, listeners, but it was up to us, not the televisions, to make those things happen. Stay tuned next for the continual barrage of entropy eating away at this reality, and perhaps others just as lost as us. And as always, good night, Night Vale. Good night.
Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Commonplace Books. It is written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner, and produced by Joseph Fink. The voice of Night Vale is Cecil Baldwin. Original music by Disparition. All of it can be found on disparition.info or at disparition.bandcamp.com. This episode's weather was Wait For You by Goodwood Road. Find out more at goodwoodroad.bandcamp.com. Comments, questions, just want to say hi? Email us at commonplacebooks.com or follow us on Twitter at Night Vale Radio. Check out welcometonightvale.com for more information on this show, as well as all sorts of cool Night Vale stuff that you can own. And while you're there, consider clicking the donate link. That'd be cool of you. Today's proverb: a stitch in time saves 9, but a stitch in space will save us all.